Guys, it's Jim here, back with my Botany Bay model, all finished up. Weathering's all done and sealed, and put it on a base and all that, and it's all ready for its final video. Although I will do one more video with it next to the TOS Enterprise, as it's seen in Space Seed, but this is pretty much it. So go over a few things, just do a couple different views of it now and all, and I kind of went certain areas with the weathering heavy. It's no repeated pattern, it's all random, kind of like the studio version, and a few other models that I've seen, resin models that guys have done and stuff, but this is real close to the original studio version as far as the weathering went and all that. So we'll get into that. I don't mind the room light and all that. The camera makes it a little darker usually when I turn it on, but anyway, we'll go over the paint and all that, and a couple of little details I added to it after I was finished with all the weathering stuff. So as far as my base coat, like I said in the previous video, I used Tester's Light Aircraft Gray. It's the same that I used on my Enterprise, the TOS Enterprise model, and I had a lot of comments on it that guys really liked it because it wasn't too dark, and it was kind of like just the right shade, almost like under bright lighting like you saw on TV and stuff. So this thing on here is basically, I read that it was painted the same as the Enterprise, so that's what I went with. As far as the weathering, like I said, I did a video yesterday and the rust and everything. I did that the first, and I did dust over the entire model, and in certain areas where I wanted the rust to be predominant and show up more, I just went a lot heavier and really worked it into the paint and all that. And then what I did after that, I sprayed it with a clear matte and let it set overnight. And then this morning I went over with all my black, the grime and the soot and all that stuff. And it's it's somewhere in some areas it kind of covers, blends in with the rust, and other areas it still lets the rust show through and everything. But pretty much I just a bunch of pictures that I found on the internet, and tried to give it the same areas and stuff, and the same little nooks and crannies and all that, and I think it came out pretty good. If you guys ever look anything up on the internet as far as photos of the Botany Bay from Star Trek, you'll probably see some pictures just pretty close, just like this and stuff. So kind of just copied off of those. Now I don't know where Polar Light's got, but I was watching a review the other night and stuff, and all you see on YouTube is 1000 scale, the Space Seed model. But in the instructions, the Botany Bay that came with that small 1000 scale on there, round 2 calls out that the red color that the Botany Bay was molded in is the correct hull color. I don't know where they got that from, but actually from what I read, Botany Bay it was pretty much weathered up like this, and something to do with filming and the light. Everything was getting washed out, and it looked just like a plain gray ship with no weathering. So they really went over everything really heavy afterwards, and it doesn't look like this. It looks like a bunch of brush strokes, but they use so much color on there. It almost looks like a red, like a crimson color red now. So that might be around 2 if it was red or something, because they do have a few pictures on if you Google into Botany Bay from Star Trek photos. It'll show it looks almost like a blood red in some of the pictures and stuff. So, but anyway, I went with the original color, what it should be, the light gray, and like I said, I just did I just did the pastel chalks, and that's all I use for my weathering and stuff. Sometimes I do dry brushing, but not in this case, and all that. And I'm happy with the way it turned out. I set it on a base already, so it's going to kind of be the right height for my Enterprise. The secondary hull will be someplace up where my hand is, and this will be sitting in front of the model and down below, so it's not going to block the Enterprise. It should kind of look the same setting like it was in the movie when they filmed them side by side. And so like I said, certain areas, the black, it kind of brings out the shape of the creases and everything on the octagon hull and all that. On the front there was more rust, and all that. And areas were a little bit heavier. Nothing, nothing was kind of nothing. Everything was a little bit random and different and stuff. So that's what I shot for. And on the underside, I got everything there. And I did, when I built this model too, I did insert in there, work that into that the cargo container area and stuff. So that's got it. And it's just like a regular model kit you buy in a kit for your mounting rod and stuff, your display stand. Other than that, I'm happy with the way it turned out. And it gives just the right effect. Take a shot of the underside. Now, all styrene and everything. Like I said, everything was just out of my styrene box. 100% styrene. It's just like a plastic model you'd buy in a kit and everything. I wanted to come up with something to make my solar panels a little bit more detailed and everything, rather than just a solid piece of plastic and try to paint it up a different color to make them show up differently or something. I wanted to give them some dimension, some and everything, kind of like a solar panel would have. And most of this you see of it, the studio model, they're just a see-through mesh and everything. And it's been kind of hard to make a frame without any kind of mesh to go in there, so that's why I just used real thin sheets and framed them out and then mounted them on the model. But what I quit was I was looking through my kitchen drawer for like a strainer or something. That's real fine wire and stuff. It'd be kind of hard to flatten it out and glue it in there and everything. I have extra fiberglass screening, the black fiberglass screen with some small holes. So I cut them to fit inside the frames, and used canopy glue, put just a real light coating on a bit, and fit them right in there. They came out real nice, and they give it some dimension, some texture. And then I over them with some Model Masters aluminum before I gave the model a final a flat dull coat. So I like the effect that it gave me. And those solar panels, they got some dimension. They look a little bit more realistic and everything. I'm happy with the way that came out. So, but anyway, sorry about the lighting, but you can pick out the grays and the rust and the mainly the blacks and everything. But like I says, this is the way. This is the color it should look. Not a red ship with weathering. It's actually a light gray ship with all the weathering and stuff done up. So I'm happy with the way it came out. It's going to look good with my TOS on display, and kind of be just like the scene from the space seat, everything. So it was fun to build. It was fun to weather this because I mean, you can take your own license. I did copy from pictures and make it look like what I saw on the original model, but I added a little bit extra here and stuff, and I think it came out pretty good. So anybody that hasn't tried scratch building or anything like that, give it a try. It's a lot of fun. It's cheap. It's not expensive unless you start getting a kit bashing and you're a big expensive refit model and you're gonna turn it into the Reliant or something. Then you're talking a lot more work. But excuse me. This was fairly simple, easy to do, and so I just took all my measurements off the 1/1000 scale model, and just enlarged everything to the correct dimensions for 350 scale. All the details, pretty much what you see on the 1000 scale model, all different little panels and stuff like that. And like I said, this was kind of a hard model for like aftermarket. Like I said, a lot of those raised panels and everything, actually like valve covers, oil pans and stuff from model car kits, blower units for from Hemi engine and stuff. I wasn't going to start getting into carved stuff out. I built up some of the shapes to look like oil pan shape and stuff like that, but for the most part, most of it's just different squares of sheet styrene, different thicknesses. So it's got ribbing in it and stuff to give it that, like the ribbed areas like that. Some of it doesn't. There's some shapes back there that I actually did carve out, file to shape to represent the areas back there. And excuse me, I think I'm coming my summer cold or else allergies from all this heat and humidity we've been having with all the points being sky high. I think our dew point, our humidity yesterday was 95% humidity. Our heat index today reached 111 degrees. I'm about 100 miles west of Chicago. In fact, they're racing that. I used to go to that race when it was in September. It wasn't bad, 70s, maybe 80. Most comfortable to sit out there and watch a NASCAR race for a few hours. They're running this weekend. It's 150 degrees in those cars with those drivers, and they're all hydrated so bad today it wasn't funny and stuff. And the fans sitting out there, I can't imagine sitting 3 hours watching a NASCAR race and this kind of heat and everything. It's got to take a toll on you. Awful. But anyway, enough of that. Back to the model. Like I said, glad you like it. Hope you guys enjoyed seeing it. Sorry I didn't do a complete build on something I decided to do spur of the moment, and I really didn't do the first video till it was just about being built and all that. So but I wanted to share it with you guys. It's something nice. I'm surprised round 2 hadn't come out with a larger scale, being that they did TOS and 350. I think this would have been something that would have been easy for them, not really expensive to make for, and it would have been a fun little kit to detail up, even if it was just something like this. And then I'm sure there would have been manufacturers come out with photo add-on stuff for it, just like they do for everything else. So, but that's my body. There's a good shot of all the grays and the rust and the black and everything. And we'll see you next time. Till the next time, I'll probably do a video tomorrow in the Enterprise together, so that way we can get a good look at side by side and stuff, see how nice they match up and stuff. So, but until the next time, thanks for checking my videos out. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for hitting the like button. Thanks for the great comments you guys give me and all that. And till the next time, happy modeling. Have a safe 4th of July if I forget to mention it on the next video. And we'll guys tomorrow. So take care and bye.